Swamiji, can I ask you the question that's been spinning around in my head lately?
Sure.
How can we, or can we focus on growing love and growing the positive without resisting the negative, fighting against that which we don't want?
So what you're trying to say to me, first of all, is that, all this stuff outside us that's going on is something, should we be fighting all this stuff going on outside of us? My response is that there is nothing outside ourselves.
So that part of either me or me observing other people who are fighting against things and doing the us and them and this is bad and we hate.
It's a big waste of time. It's a big waste of time.
But I even see you a little bit doing it.
Well, it's not.
Sorry to get straight to the point, but that's part of what I'm like.
I don't know that I'm fighting against anything. What I am fighting for certain things. I am fighting for social justice and economic justice and political justice. And I'm fighting for, respect of every human being and love of, human beings and humanity. And, to that degree, I might criticize circumstances that, don't promote those values.
And when we criticize, when we call someone bad or wrong, stupid, insane, which all of us are doing right now. There's not a person I know that is not in some degree just frustrated, angry, and shocked, and looking at others, which there is no other.
I think that,
when we do that, is it serving us?
Yeah, no, it's not serving us.
Why do we still do it? Even you,
that's
even
the way
me.
That's the way we've been brought up. I think about, Ferguson, Missouri, and the, murder of an innocent unarmed black guy by white policemen. And then you study the history of the whole circumstance, of the founding of America, and then you learn about the fact that the entire American economy, as it exists today, with all of this abundance, is based on two things: slavery and genocide. Genocide of the First Nation peoples.
It's horrific and it's insane, and there are people that I would want to say are horrible, evil, dark people that cause that. But
moreover, those states of mind that justified those horrendous circumstances is shockingly and amazingly still totally abundant. I wouldn't say the predominant mental state within America today, because I think Trump did lose the popular vote, but it was abundant enough that he won the presidency. America has always been a phenomenon that is all about money. The Revolutionary War was about money, etc., and so forth. The economy, the financial interests that dominate this country are criminal. Criminal in a lot of ways, but criminal in the sense that they don't do what they say they're going to do. They're not, their goals are not really their goals. there are good people within these systems, within the healthcare system. There's probably a good person somewhere in the banking system. Maybe. All right, maybe not. You know, the military, I mean, there's so much corruption in America.
So what's the most productive way for us to deal with the
Okay,
angst around
The
that?
most productive way is to focus on developing your own skills. You know, you're going to be a magnificent physician one of these days. You know, and you know, that's a way to benefit people. That doesn't require rejecting anybody. It doesn't require fighting about anything. You can work on respecting everybody and seeing through the veils of tension that are generated. You know, when I think about Ferguson, as I was talking earlier, and the election of Donald Trump, you know, you have to see that there's an enormous number of people that see the world very differently than we do. And in America, you know, which the America that arose out of slavery and genocide, you have, you know, the values that have been promoted of independence, you know, of self-sufficiency and competition, you know, and self-reliance. And these are phony values. They're phony values that are destructive to the individual and completely destructive of both community and the environment. And so, you know, but these are the values that those people have. You know, when the information about the reality of the world is right in their face, they are continually in denial of it. So it's appalling. But at the same time, that's how people are. And I think, you know, one thing that Facebook and the internet has taught us is that, you know, you're not going to have a real discussion or change anybody's life who disagrees with you on Facebook or the internet. That is a place people go to pound their chests and you know, spout the correctness of their view.
Do you think that we can have discussions and change the direction by all the actions that a lot of more progressive people who are really angry right now are fighting against this? Is that fighting against what's going on? I know, like you said, I'm good with focusing on being a healer. A lot of people want to go out there and fight against.
I'm not going out there to fight against anything. I am fighting for certain things. I want to continue to aspire to economic and political and civil justice for everyone. I think the biggest surprise that I always experience is the white poor and their inability to grasp even slightly their own self-interest and how, you know, their struggle for, you know, to prove their own superiority accomplishes anything except the destruction of their own creative energy and the undermining of their self-interest.
I see it with them. I see, right now I'm feeling every demographic, every group way of approaching the tension right now is creating more divisiveness.
Well, that's you know,
what's
this has been,
getting
this
my heart.
this started with Richard Nixon and his Southern strategy. It was intensified by Lee Atwater, who was the campaign manager for George Bush Sr., who, you know, really took sort of incivility in political dialogue to a higher level. And then Karl Rove came along with George Bush Jr. and did the same, intensified it yet even a whole nother level. The political class, and we've said this before here, we have no leadership in this country. We have no leadership. And not only, and our leadership will justify that by saying market forces will prevail. But anybody with half a brain by now, or even a slight, who thinks about markets at all, understands there is no such thing as a fair or free market. There is no such thing. There's no free market anywhere in the world about anything. We're in a world in which the rate of technological change is mind-blowing. The jobs that the current president is promising to return to America do not exist. That will never happen. Not only that, in his tenure as president, you are going to see the end of one of the largest job classification in the country. The largest single job classification in the country is truck driver. And in the next 4 to 5 years, you're going to see the elimination of 1 million truck driver jobs. 2 vehicles that are fully autonomous. And it is also understood that Mitch McConnell's wife, Mitch McConnell, the head of the Senate, whose wife has just been confirmed as transportation secretary, is brought in specifically to oversee the introduction of autonomous driving and the elimination of all cab driver and truck driver jobs. So not only are the manufacturing jobs that Trump promised to return to America not going to come back to America, but robots are going to be increasingly efficient, and robotic vehicles are going to be increasingly in use. The thing is this, Heather. There's the reason I'm talking about jobs could be the same reason I'm talking about technological change and related to jobs and the environment. The world is changing at a rate that is faster than any of us have ever imagined it could. The thing is, it's going places that we are not sure are not completely self-destructive.
So is it better to look at how to stop that or how to create sustainable things?
It is better that we start to think about that's an interesting discussion. There could be a number of points of view on it. My own point of view is that I feel like it's important to focus on sustainable, rather than, but what I'm saying is nuclear technology has been around since 1945. And, in this late date of 50 or 60 years later, we still have not understood, and maybe now that it's possible, but they did not take seriously the destructive capacity of that technology. So what do we think about the destructive capacity of all of the technologies? The many technologies that are emerging rapidly that we have no clue about. We don't even know about what long-term exposure to microwave radiation does to nerve cells. We have no idea. We do know that it causes that it seems to cause some tumors, but we have no idea really. And we have no idea what long-term exposure to, like generation after generation exposure to GMOs, exposure to vaccines, exposure to, to plastics. We don't know.
So do I fight against those things, or do I put my energy, my mind, when I write my sign to go out on a march, does it say no GMOs, no vaccines, no Trump, or does it say holistic medicine, organic food?
It says, we believe in the miracle of love. That's what it says.
So that's,
we believe in the miracle of love. And
so
that
we're
miracle
creating
opposes,
this Trump tension by saying no Trump and I'm against Trump and everything that's wrong is because of Trump. Are the people that are doing that creating more tension instead of pouring all that energy into love?
Trump appears to be an idiot. He appears to be maybe, incompetent. Mm-hmm. And he also appears to have brought onto his team some of the most dangerous, and hypocritical people that exist in the country relative to the safety of workers, the quality of the environment. But I'm not sitting here fretting about Trump. I'm really not. I'm sitting here concerned about, the quality of our environment and the health of the people who are in it and the resources that are available to support all of that, and additional resources that might be possible for us to cultivate in that expression. That's all I'm worried about. It's sad to see some racist, misogynistic, and incompetent person, representing us, on any stage, and it encourages some of the most, murderous of instincts in some of the most stressed and unstable communities of people. There are a lot of people in the country and in a lot of states in the country that are, open carry, packing, guns, and who, with a little encouragement, like that guy, who killed Trayvon Martin in Florida, George Zimmerman, will just go out and create an excuse to shoot somebody. And, in one sense, there are, those people who need to feel the need to sort of be radicalized and take the discussion to some extreme are necessary.
That was part of what I was thinking.
They're a necessary part of the whole discussion that will hopefully, after a bunch of people are killed, bring it all, this thing into balance. But personally, that is not me, that is not you, that is not us. We have devoted our lives to something else that we believe in fervently, and we are not going to change. One thing I have resisted my entire life is allowing somebody else's tensions and judgment to define me. It's one of the unconscious reasons why so many people in America and Europe and in the Western influenced world are turning to a feminine notion of God or a feminine identity of God is because, when we think of a judge, that's dualistic and it's masculine. And we think of a comforting, caring, healing, nurturing, ultimate reality. We think of the feminine, and that is the goddess. Love does not judge. Love accepts, love nurtures, love supports, and love appreciates diversity. Appreciates diversity as a strength. If you look at the natural world, it is permeated with diversity. And yet, among humans, each group of humans is doing its darndest, to convince itself that it is superior and that, all other forms of humans need to be subservient to that, which is complete crap.
All right, well, as much as that all sounds scary and depressing, your other message that I'm hearing is to not be scared or depressed.
Well, what's the point? What is the point of it? At
Right.
some point,
Put our energy into growing love.
We have to make a choice.
Right.
And it's a choice that you have to reaffirm for yourself day by day by day by day by day through your actions. Some of your actions meaning constraining your vikalpas, constraining all your negative thought patterns, and the other is starting to do things, whatever it is, in the smallest in way you can in your environment, starting to do things that express, you know, your intention to demonstrate contact, alignment, and flow.
If for no other reason, so when we get to the end of our life,
Right, there'll be enough love in your heart to scare away the devil.
and what else is there other than that? Every day, do it in our lives, in our relationships, in the bigger climate, and do it until the day we die.
Exactly right.